Welcome to Youthology Live. Thank you for joining us this week on another Youth Leadership podcast. Listen, one of the most important commitments that I have kept since my earliest days in youth ministry has been to attend the global See You at the Pole prayer meeting. This is the prayer meeting that meets every fall at the end of September on local elementary, middle school, and high school campuses. See You at the Pole's been around now in its 32nd year. Let me explain what See You at the Pole is for those of you that may not be familiar. See You at the Pole is a time of prayer on the fourth Wednesday of September when students meet at their flagpole, 7 a.m. local time. They meet there to pray for their school, pray for their friends, pray for families, for teachers and staff, faculty, administration, coaches. They pray for our nation and they bring our nation before God. It is a student-initiated, student-organized, and student-led prayer meeting. I have never missed a See You at the Pole. I know that might be hard to imagine, but if you know me, I am determined to be the only person in world history to never have missed a See You at the Pole prayer meeting. I have perfect attendance so far. The last 32 years, I have been at every single See You at the Pole. During rain, I brought an umbrella. Snow, dressed a little warmer. Sickness, went back to bed afterwards. When I was traveling, I got up quite a bit earlier and showed up at the flagpole, would land and pray at the flagpole at that next event. Maybe there was opposition. I prayed anyway. Discouragement, still showed up twice, and I was the only person there at the high school. Now, why do I share that? To make a statement to this generation of the importance of having a passion and a mission for the campus setting, which could be the last tribal stop where teenagers could share their faith with their friends. I mean, think about that. This is the last setting where they will all be together, where they must all be together. There are moments in everyone's life that require commitment, especially in the face of opposition or obstacles or hindrances. Think about this. In 1962, 1963, and 1964, I was born in 1963, there was an initiative launched to remove prayer from our public schools. Madeline Murray O'Hair succeeded in removing a formal prayer from our school, and others in the years to follow succeeded in removing Bible reading from the daily school schedule. Now, make no mistake about it. As long as there are tests in school, there will be prayer in school. I'm joking a little. And as long as we have teenage disciples who are in our youth ministries who attend public school, there will always be Bible reading in our schools, whether that is before school, at lunch, in the classroom, after school, during team activities or other extracurricular events. You cannot remove praying students from our public schools. Actually, they have to be there. It's mandated for our students to be in school. And I believe this generation is going to lead the next great awakening in America. The prayers of millions of students praying around the school flagpole every year. Now, think about that when I say millions. Let me give you the stats. Last year, 4.2 million just in the U.S., 7 million globally. Those prayers will not fail to reach the heart of God. Now, this year's theme is aflame. It is taken from Romans chapter 12, where Paul says, do not lag behind in diligence, be fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfast in your prayer. Another version simply says, don't let the flame go out, so continue to pray. Man, does this generation need to hear that word from Romans chapter 12. In the 32-year history of See You at the Pole, I've been there alone, I've been with students, I've been with hundreds of students and faculty and coaches and parents, and I have never been disappointed. As a matter of fact, we cannot lose this powerful freedom of prayer. This generation has something to say about the next great move of God that will take place in America. And I believe that the public school campus is the perfect place to make a public statement in a generation. We must not allow those who have initiated the movement of taking prayer out of schools to succeed in taking prayer out of our homes, out of our communities, and even out of our churches. Our involvement is proof of that we are not going to lose our right to pray. Because there are moments in everyone's life that require a commitment, just like the one that I've made. I believe it is just such a moment for this generation. 32 straight years I've prayed. I'm challenging this generation, an alpha generation, to follow, to do the same. If not now, when? If not here, where? If not us, who? Listen, at almost 60, if I can make this commitment, so can you. It really is a matter of priority. If we cannot pray on a public school campus, where are we going to pray? This is the central place, the central setting where God could do something public in a powerful way with just our simple commitment and obedience. Let me give you real quick 4 important reasons why we pray on the school campus around our flagpoles. Okay? Really simple. We'll end this podcast with these 4 things. Number 1, prayer is a public statement against a powerful spiritual adversary. Satan seems to work more publicly than the church allows God to work publicly. It's almost like the church is hiding God every Sunday behind the 4 walls of the building. See you at the pole is the perfect time to go public with your faith. After all, Jesus did not die on a cross publicly for me to serve him privately. Let me give you another reason why see you at the pole is so important. Number 2, praying around the flagpole at school will introduce you to many other believers. You know, you're not the only one. You may feel like that, but you may not even know that there are other believers that are friends of yours in your classroom, on the team, that live in your neighborhood, who show up once a year, and you had no idea that they had a relationship with the Lord. And now they become your circle of friends and influence together at school. Number 3, the reason why we go to see you at the polls, because if we do not take the freedom to pray, the freedom to pray may be taken away from us. If we do not take the freedom to pray, the freedom to pray may be taken away from us. Listen, we live in a free country. Let's not be bound. Hear me, let's not be bound. Let's keep our liberty. Number 4, reason why we go to our school flagpoles and we pray is because prayer is powerful. And the only people who do not understand this are people that do not pray. This negativity towards prayer is usually propagated by people who are not praying people. So let me help you. Here are 6 simple points on prayer that might take your prayer to the next level. Okay? Number 1, we do not pray to get, we pray to know. Man, that's so powerful. Stop asking and just know God. Number 2, prayer must have a specific time and place, or it may not ever happen in your life. Number 3, use prayer and worship together for an explosive experience around the pole. Bring speakers and bring acoustic guitars, right? Listen. Number 4, use the scriptures. The scriptures will help you pray powerful prayers around the pole. 5, remember that listening is also prayer. And it takes the pressure away from producing in prayer. Silence around the pole could be powerful. So listen, don't miss this year's gathering. Next week, September 28th, 7 a.m. local time somewhere. I'll be at a public school in Dallas. I'll be interviewing students around the flagpole next week. Be sure to check into the podcast next week for some exciting stories from Dallas, and I'm sure that we're going to hear many, many more published on social media where you'll be able to follow the entire morning and throughout the day, and rallies in the evening such as See You After the Poll, right? Listen, again, thank you for joining us on the Youthology Podcast each week. Check us out on the Linktree at our socials, where you can read the manuscript, watch the YouTube vid, or listen on the iTunes podcast every single week for a fresh new youth leadership topic. Hey, we'll see you next week after the poll.